Hello everyone, it's time for another Grand Cat Reviews with me, the Grand Cat, and today we are looking at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of Krang, obviously a pun on Wrath of Khan from the second Star Wars movie. Star Wars? Star Trek? Oh my goodness, I can't believe that's on camera. That was a horrible mistake. I'm actually a huge fan of both Star Wars and Star Trek, so that was a horrible mistake. And this Krang figure is absolutely ginormous. By comparison, here is the Neca Shredder, by comparison to the height of the box. And you can see that Krang in his android body is ginormous huge. So let's take a look at the box first. The side is it's supposed to look like the original videotapes, and on the back you have this whole part here, very much like the original old VHS. So let's see what the little blurb says in the back. Brains plus brawn make a calamitous combination in Krang's evil android body. The evil warlord from Dimension X has been banished to Earth, living deep underground in his terrifying Technodrome. This mechanical monstrosity has real rampaging robot power. Just don't call him when he's in the shower. The bald, bad-bellied behemoth includes a brand new Krang figure, Baby Shredder minifigure, 12 interchangeable hands, and arm attachments, and loads more. So, hilariously, there is a part where Shredder gets on his phone thing with Krang, and Krang is in the shower, and the android body has, the soap. The soap and a rope around his neck and everything. He's wearing a towel, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And that is possible to make in this box, which is quite hilarious. So let us open it up. So this is a Ultimate Series figure. So unfortunately, he's so massive that we can't actually get the full figure in. So let us rotate the camera up just a tiny bit, so that you can see the top there. Unfortunately, we're not seeing the feet, but that is nowhere near as important. So there we go. He's pretty cool. Comes with a lot of accessories, and we're going to open him up and see exactly what this all looks like. The box is actually really heavy itself, so definitely has a lot of heft, a lot of weight to it, which is cool to see. So I'm expecting this to be quite solid. I'm going to open him from the top, pull it open, and let us see what the figure looks like when he comes out of his packaging. So let's look at the inside of the packaging first. So the inside is sort of like the Technodrome. I think that's supposed to be the colours, kind of mechanical look of it and things, which makes sense, Krang with Technodrome. Obviously it makes sense. We have a lot going on here. So first of all, just comparison of size. Let's bring Shredder back again, and you can see that Shredder really only comes up to around the waist of Krang. And of course we have the original Krang in the Krang Walker, and it is around about the knee of the android body Krang. So this really is quite ginormous huge, as he is meant to be. So let's start cutting these tassels and opening up our brand new Krang figure. These ones are nice and easy. This one a little bit harder. For some reason, Neca seemed to really love making the tassels like as irritating as possible. I don't know if these tassel things have an actual name to them or not, but I've just always referred to them as tassels. Oh, so this is actually one solid piece of plastic here, which means that the android body Krang is going to have to come out of this by the head first, and then the feet after. Interesting. We do also have, that's the blueprints for Krang as well. That's quite cool. And on the other side I can see the towel is there. That is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's get rid of all these tassels that are just in our way. That was the first and foremost thing. Right, so we have a lot of tassels that are just here, specifically to annoy all of us, not just me. So I know this annoys all of you as well. So in these videos, if this is the first one that you're watching, I'd like to go over absolutely everything. I like to see everything from the very start of the unboxing to the very end of it. If you only want to see the figure, you can skip ahead. I will not be offended. But I like to put the extra content in there that you don't find on other channels, so that you can see exactly what you get and what it looks like exactly when it comes out of the box. So everything's just falling out now. Okay, that's why the tassels are there, I suppose. Just going to cut this bit here for Krang. There we go, and hopefully that frees that part. We have a bit here on the neck as well. Just going to take care of that. Just try and... I want to make sure that I get all of it and not half of it, because if you get half of it, then it's still stuck there, but it's much harder to get rid of. Oh my goodness, Krang just fell out. Let's go and save Krang. Hope that he's not too annoyed at us. I'm sure that he will be. He's not knowing for his forgiveness. Is Krang. So the arms and the body are the last little bits to get, which are very mildly irritating. If there's an easier way to get rid of these, I would love to know it, because I am not aware of it. So if there is a method, do let me know in the comments below, because it would certainly save a lot of time when making these videos. Okay, let's get rid of the hand ones first of all. There we go. That should be one hand free, and the other hand should also not be giving us that much of a problem. I just noticed that Shredder also has tassels keeping him in place, so I'll need to get rid of those as well. The hell? I thought it cut and it didn't. There we go. Got it that time. Okay, so it's these last ones here, just around the chest, that is giving us a problem. I'm going to try going through the front once again, but I don't want to leave any scratches on the actual body. That's what I'm trying to avoid happening. So I'm going to try and do this, and there we go. So I think now after all of that, we are now in a position to actually lift up the gigantic Krang body, which is very, very top heavy. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Right, the rest of this has turned into a complete mess of chaos and nonsense while we were trying to do that. So let's worry about that later, I think. Let's get this crap out of the way and see what we are looking at here in terms of the accessories. So we have 2 pairs of gripping hands. We have 2 pairs of alternate open hands. He already has open hands on. This is a gun that the hand can turn into. Gun that is in refusal to focus. Oh my goodness, right. Camera, there we go. So, yep, that's pretty cool. When we get 2 of those, so we can have both hands as guns. We also have the buzzsaw with the working saw. We have the axe. And then we have the soap on a rope. And we have the bath towel that goes on the head. Well, I don't know what you would call it. A head towel, I suppose. And there we have our gigantic Krang android bodysuit itself. So he's a little bit shorter once he's out of the actual box because the box was ginormous huge, but you can see that he is still very, very massive in comparison to the size of Shredder. So very cool to see that difference. Let's just compare him to the Krang Walker. Very interesting. So it did say that this was a brand new Krang, and there you can see that it is. If the camera would just focus, really hates focusing, and you can see that it's actually a very, very different image for Krang. You know, it's different face, it's different mold, a different sculpt and everything. And also this one doesn't have the little tendrils that come out the side of the head like this one does. You can see the other extra parts coming out there. So this one is all smooth instead. And that's probably one to make it so that Krang can actually fit in here. Well, he doesn't fit in there. So there must be some kind of trick to that we're going to have to work out. Interesting. So, how do we get our Krang into the android body? Well, this is a question that I have. As well, there is the blueprints. I think these blueprints are from the first few episodes where Krang was desperate to get Shredder to build him an android body. And then, of course, they do the scene from Frankenstein where Shredder is like, "It's alive, it's alive." Oh, actually, this is a blueprint for the Knucklehead, and this is a blueprint for the Krang. So that's quite cool. And the Knucklehead was actually made by Baxter Stockman. It was his last creation before he was turned into a fly, which actually comes into the episode, Enter the Fly. Okay, so how do we get our Krang into the android body? So this actually just does pop off exactly like that, which is very cool. Lets you see the inside as well. Do these move, or are they do move? These are actually articulated. That is very cool to see. It feels like this part might come off as well, but I don't really want to push it. So we're going to put Krang in here, into his little robot body. Now, the pants look the pants themselves look kind of ridiculous there. The tendrils do move on Krang, so I'm going to try and place these over the little controls, which is going to be a task in and of itself. So there we go, I've got them. I had them, and one snapped off. Thankfully, it's just on a little ball socket, so I'm going to try and do this. This is going to be a tricky thing. Does this part come off? No, okay, maybe this doesn't actually come off. Maybe this is just at the waist. Right, well, let's try and do this on camera. So I'm going to try and get the control stick around Krang's tendril first. I'm going to move this one over a little bit. Try and get this around this tendril if I can. It is quite in refusal. You're already seeing some major problems. Okay, I think we're getting there. We're getting there, and then if we can just push Krang down onto the thing. No, okay, that one has once again gone off to the side, unfortunately, and it's fallen off. Right, so I think I need to move this tendril closer in. I'm wondering if it might actually just be easier to leave this off for the time being. We'll put Krang in and then we will set that up afterwards. I think that might be easier. I'm not sure though. Is that it in? No, he's not. He was merely pretending to be in. Oh my goodness, this is a hell of an issue. So we're trying to get this hole over this circle here, and it is very, very in refusal. I thought it would be easier, but they must intend it to be once this is on. You know, he never ever moves back off of it. I'm using a decent amount of strength here. I'm trying my best not to actually go breaking the thing, but I can feel it slightly going on, but it just doesn't want to go all the way and then just immediately slips back off. Oh my goodness, and I'm hitting the camera. So, do we have it now? Is that it? Is it done? Or is it still just pretending? You know, I can still feel that it isn't totally on yet. And Krang is just a little bit off to the side. There is a part of me that is thinking about just going, well, that's good enough, but... okay, there. I think I've got it. There, yes. Okay. We have him, and he is done. Good. So now we need to move this tentacle across. We just want to put in this little joystick here. It just clicks in, and there we go. Oh my goodness. That was a hell of a workout, but we now have a Krang in the android body, which is now absolutely solid and just will not fall out by this point. I like how we've got like the, what is that, a kind of port thing there? Okay, so let's leave these two parts separate for just now, and let's look at the articulation. So, the head is quite solid. I always thought that Krang's android body looked a little bit like a sumo wrestler. It's actually got a lot of very, very smooth movement. If anyone's played the new Turtles Revenge of the Shredder, they'll have seen that this is actually part of the boss fight where the top half comes off and starts like flailing around in itself. In fact, actually, that's part of the story of the Revenge of the Shredder, is that the head, body, and legs of the Krang android body move around. So the arms don't, the elbow doesn't get any further than that because he is quite a chunk of a figure. The shoulders go up that far. They're kind of hindered by this, but I think they're more hindered by this part here. It isn't a double elbow joint, it's just a single elbow joint, as you can see. He is solid, none of this feels hollow, so he's quite a hefty chunk. Let's look at the bottom here. So the legs actually have a lot of flexibility for what you would like, more than what you would expect for Krang's body. Knees are very stiff. I'm just finding out, but it does have a double knee joint that actually goes all the way right back, so you can get some pretty good movement on that. Same with the other leg, I assume, which is just as stiff. Oh my goodness, Neca, please. There we go. But after just working it out a little bit, it's fine, and the ankles are on the same kind of joint that you can see just there if the camera would focus. So the foot does move back and forward and has a little bit of rotation, but not a tremendous amount. So there we have it. Next up, let's try looking at some accessories. We have this ridiculous thing, which can go on the top. I think it's hilarious that Krang would shower with the android body. You know, I mean, it's just so ludicrous to see that. We also have the soap on a rope, which can just go around the neck like so. And we also have the towel over here, which you can see there. It's a full-on proper little hand cloth towel, which is ridiculous that they would go to the hassle of doing this for this one gag, but that is absolutely what they are doing for the fans. And there you have your towel, which let's see here, we can wrap that around like so and just try and tuck it in a bit. It's a little bit in refusal, but there we go. And there, in all of its ridiculousness, is Krang coming out of the shower. So we also have the little prongs at the top here. They go on the top of the head, so we're going to have to try putting those on. We only need one actually, so I'm just going to leave one in there, and the prong should just be able to slide it through this little bit like so. I'm actually going to leave it sticking out a little bit so it doesn't go all the way in, and then just put that on the top like so. And there you have the absolute ridiculous Krang coming out of a shower scene. Right, now that we've got the nonsense out of the way, and that we're never planning to do that again, because Krang is absolutely going to be shown without this towel and etc. Let's put the little antenna, little tuning fork, into the top of the head. Should just push in, I imagine. I thought it would push in a little bit more than that. In fact, actually, I'm fairly certain that it should. It is not the easiest thing to grip. Maybe this is why they give you two. Or maybe one is actually longer. No, they're both the same size. I thought maybe one was longer to go with the head cloth thing, but no, they're both the same size. So I think that maybe they were aware that this was difficult to deal with, and maybe just tried to just give you a second one just in case you snap the first one putting it in. But there we go. There is Krang in all of his beautiful glory. And now, how do we clip this back in properly? So it goes in here, and then there's clips at the sides that we need to try and push in. So, of course, there's a bit here, but there's also a little bit here on this side and a little bit here on this side. So we want to clip all three of them in to get Krang all hooked back up. So what is the best way to go around this? Maybe do something like that. And then, they are all in, but it feels kind of loose. So maybe that's just the way that it's meant to be. Maybe that was the best that they could do. So the other accessories that we haven't taken out yet is we do have an alternate prong, so we'll need to take that out. And we also have 2 sets of balls and chains, which we're going to unclip now. Once again, this is mildly irritating to get into. Both of these are art paints. Ah, okay, we just got one out without having to do... Oh, there's the second. That was easier than expected. And then the last is the baby shredder, which was only from one episode. And I don't actually even remember the episode where Shredder becomes a baby, if I'm honest. I remember seeing the image of him, but I couldn't tell you anything that happened in that episode or why he becomes a baby. I assume that it's another Dimension X thing, you know, some kind of technology that that Krang has from Dimension X, being just a gigantic brain. Getting this little bit here is really problematic. Trying a slightly lazy method of cutting it by pushing the figure out and then cutting the bit afterwards. So surprisingly, Shredder is actually entirely articulated. I thought it was just going to be a one-piece thing, but no, he does have the movement on the arms. The fully rotates out as well. The legs move as one piece. His head is on a ball joint. He has a little pointing finger, like so, and I think the feet move as well. Maybe they don't. It just seems weird that the feet are uneven like that, but maybe they don't actually move. Maybe they are just like that. So, but yeah, he does look absolutely ridiculous with the giant shoulder pads as well. So, very interesting to see. So there we are. You can sit down there. Okay, let's try some different hands with Krang before we wrap up. So let's remove this one here. Should just come out with a bit of force. There we go. And let's try putting in the ball and chain to see what that looks like. So one of the issues with the ball and chain is getting a grip to put that in. But there we go. So yeah, it is pretty cool. Of course, Krang has the transmutator thing. I'm sure it has some official name. Try putting in the buzzsaw. So the buzzsaw has no articulation down here. Just exactly as it is. Try seeing what that looks like. So there we have it. I don't know if it goes in further than that, but it doesn't feel like it wants to go any further. Let's try the axe as well. Okay, that was it fully in, because it made the click when it came back out. We'll try the axe. The axe does look a bit kind of ridiculous, in fairness. And lastly, we'll try putting on one of the guns, but I think the hands are primarily what I'm going to be sticking with. So try attaching the gun as well, and there we go. Actually, the gun is kind of cool. I kind of like I would like these more if there's something more that you could do with them, but they just kind of hang there and don't really do anything. But they are a very, very cool accessory, and they do look very iconic to the cartoon. So what hands am I going to use here? I think I'm going to use this. If I had a closed fist, I would use that, but we don't have closed fists, so I'm just going to do one of these instead. So I'm just going to pop the gun off. There you go, you can hear it going just off camera there. And push this one all the way in. And I think maybe just having one hand like that as well. Now we do want Krang's body face on, because we can't reposition the Krang on the inside. So that is how Krang is going to have to look. So let's take a little look like that. So he comes with a whole ton of accessories. Now this is an ultimate figure, which is why it comes with all those parts. Most of the Neca figures are 2 packs, and this one is not. This one is just a single one by itself. But okay, now let's do a quick little size comparison. So we have Shredder down there at the foot. I'm just going to lower this down a little bit now, since he is out of the box. There we go. There is Krang in the Krang Walker, which is significantly shorter. There he is next to Shredder, which is pretty good size comparison with the other figures. Here is the Super 7, Casey Jones, from the previous video. So you can see that the Super 7s are a little bit taller than the Neca figures, but of course Krang does still completely dominate over the top of them. And the last one that we're going to show off is Super Shredder from the movie. And oh my goodness, Super Shredder is actually just a little bit taller than Android Krang. And there, if you want to see a comparison with Super Shredder and Shredder, just to get the actual full-on height difference. I know that there isn't a cartoon version of Super Shredder, it only comes to the movie version, but you can see there that he does become quite a bit ginormous, and I ended up giving him the spear to hold. Or not the spear, the pike. I was considering that in the previous one. Actually, just as a little quick fun thing, let's just remove Krang for just a second, even though it is Krang's video. And there we have Shredder, Baby Shredder, and Super Shredder all in the same shot. So, just while we wrap this up, I am going to bring out the little rotation gimmick, set that up, and let you see the full look of Krang in all of his glory. I need to rotate the camera just back up just a little bit, like so. And there we go. So, if you watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you very much. It's a very, very long video, a lot longer than what I expected. These Ultimate figures do take quite a while to review. But I hope I did everything that you are all looking for. If you like this video, please give us a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these videos come out. And we will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.